Today marks 7 years since the tragic mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. A former student opened fire inside of the school, killing 17 people and injuring 17 others.
In Broward County, the community will take time to remember the victims and use today as a day of service and love. Mike Magnoli is joining us on the couch now. Mike, you were there the day of the massacre. You were one of the first reporters out there on the scene along with first responders. Can you walk us through what it was like that day?
Sure. It's been 7 years, and the governor has ordered flags to be at half staff today. I remember that we ended up in the parking lot of the Walmart, and at the end of school, a lot of kids kind of flocked towards that Walmart anyway, but when this happened, a lot of them just ran in that direction, and as a matter of fact, the suspect sort of blended in with all of the kids that were fleeing from the school, and he went into the Walmart, and he got himself a Slurpee. And I remember there were all of these parents in the parking lot. They had abandoned their cars at other places sort of in the vicinity and just run to get as close as possible to the scene to try to connect with their kids. Mm-hmm. And they saw our news truck and they saw, the Mike flag, and they would come up to me and they would say, what are you hearing? How bad is it? Did they catch the gunman? And I had been listening to what was going on the police radios, so I knew kids were down. And at that point, no, they had not caught the gunman. So just talking with those parents who are desperate for information and trying to figure out, where their kids are, because you got to remember, a lot of the kids had to just drop everything, so they might not have necessarily been able to pick up their cell phone. You don't grab your backpack, you just run. So that feeling, if you're a mom or a dad and you don't know where your kid is and this is happening, at your kid's school, I remember that very vividly.
And the scene from that day was incredible. You were mentioning them running towards that Walmart, and when we saw that chopper video, you could see those kids moving. And 7 years later, there have been talks about a memorial for these 17 victims. Where does that stand right now? So
that's being spearheaded by the Parkland 17 Foundation, and they've got a design finally. There were 70 applicants. Ideas coming in from all over the country. They do have a design now. It's going to be 17 obelisks around a fountain and 17 trees. I've seen, the composite sketches. They're really beautiful. It's going to be sort of in the area of Parkland and Coral Springs. They're in the fundraising mode right now, so they need money. And once they hit certain fundraising criteria, they can break ground, but it might be another 18 months before this is complete, because there were just so many design suggestions coming in. Right. So they really had to narrow in on one, and it's going to be really beautiful. And on each of the columns, there will be a name of the victim and maybe some other information about them. And I'm sure you two remember there was a lot of discussion too about what to do with the actual building, the freshman building. I was there live when they demolished it. The Broward County School Board still doesn't really know what they're going to do with that space on campus, but there's still a lot of talk about turning it into an activity space where the band could practice, or JOTC. Right. So those are activities that the victims really liked, and so there's been ongoing conversations about making that space something that those kids would have enjoyed specifically.
Yeah, I know it's a relief for a lot of people when that building was finally demolished.
It should have been.
Last year.
It was very painful but necessary to bring that building down.
Absolutely. One thing that has come out of this tragedy is some change. A lot of the students and parents of the victims have become advocates for gun control rights. So what are we looking at here in Florida now when it comes to gun control rights?
Well, the session will start in March. Yep. There's always talk about dialing back some of the Parkland laws that passed. Open carry is a constant conversation. What I'm hearing is that that's dead on arrival. It's not going to be an open carry state. I don't think that's going to happen. But there are the conversations happening among lawmakers. There's also a conversation about the red flag laws, maybe dialing some of those back. And after Parkland, Florida changed the legal age to buy a weapon from 18 to 21. But there's talk about maybe dialing that back, because the argument is, well, at 18 years old, if you can be in the military and we give you a gun to go protect the country, then you should be able to buy a weapon at that age in Florida. So that's an ongoing conversation, ladies.
Yeah, and it seems like it will be for a while. Thank you, Mike, for sharing your experience and keeping us up to date on what's happening for those victims and for their families.
Sure.
We'll be right back.